I watched you on that show where it was just you and you were talking to the camera and you were breaking down the day for the OTAs, and you threw it back to the Aaron Lynch story where you saw him come in overweight, and some of the things that I hear you talking about with your dad. Like, you are a great storyteller, Grant. Like, whether you know it or not, like, you have a gift for that, a gift for the gab. And and it just got me thinking, dude, that's great content. That is phenomenal content. And I need a little pick me up, man. My Blazers got beat last night. I needed a little positivity in my life this morning. I'm struggling with it, but I think that you're going to lift me up, man.
I think I can. So where do you want to start? You want to start with the best personality I ever covered in camp?
Yeah. I mean, who was that one person? And this is going back because, I mean, you have been doing this for a while. I know that there are a bunch of people that are just coming onto your scene and don't realize going back to the Press Democrat. But, man, I was on that original blog for a little bit. It got a little crazy at times.
It always got crazy. It really did.
But I remember that, man. And so I know you've got a lot of stories in the closet right now, right? A lot of those good gems. And so I want you to dust one off, put on the fedora, tell the story.
The best camp personality I ever covered was Anthony Dixon. I don't know if people remember Anthony Dixon.
Booby Dixon.
Booby Dixon. Booby Dixon was hilarious to me. Booby Dixon never really played. He was on the special teams. Right. And he was like the number 3 running back. And they never really had a role for him. I mean, he was on the team, but it was Frank Gore and Kendall Hunter. And then it was Frank Gore and LaMichael James. But they would like let Booby Dixon do like maybe 1 3rd-and-1 run a season. Or like but he was there. He was kind of like the mascot of the team. And the offseason was his time where he could actually get the ball and run. And the thing about Booby Dixon was he was the most confident player on the team. He thought he was the best. He thought he was, you know, the missing link for the offense, and he always had a lot to talk about. But no one ever wanted to interview him because he literally didn't do anything. So he would just be standing at his locker trying to talk to people. And one day, it was my first year covering the team. I was 23. I was on a probationary period. First 6 months, they're like, let's see how you do. So I was like trying to get all the hits that I could. And my dad gave me an idea. He was a creative writing teacher. And one of the assignments he would give his students was describe your room or describe someone's room, because usually it's characterization. You're describing the person through describing their rooms. Yeah. It's a fun exercise. So I said, go up to a player and get him to describe his locker, give you the tour. What's in the locker? Because that's a form of characterization as well. And man, if you go up to most football players and be like, so what do you keep in your locker? They'll look at you like you're asking like about their sex life. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? Makes like, get the hell out of here. It's personal. I went up to Booby Dixon. I was like, Booby, do you have a couple minutes? Could I ask you what a famous NFL running back keeps in his locker? He was standing there. Kendall Hunter was sitting there. He looked up and he laughed and says, a famous NFL running back. Booby thinks you're a famous NFL running back. I said, I am a famous NFL running back. And he gave me the whole tour like it was MTV Cribs. He's like, all right, man, check it out. First of all, I got the gold bond. I got the powder. And I don't remember everything that he said, but he just went through everything and gave me a tour. This is my shirt. This is my blue collar shirt that I like to wear. Hella funny. He did the whole thing. He was the ultimate personality, and no one knows how brilliant Booby Dixon was because he never really played much.
If you want to win, put Booby Dixon in.
I love Booby Dixon, man.
Dude, he never got the respect. He got a few goal line carries here or there. If I remember correctly, he ended up with Baltimore after the Niners.
Hold on, let me look up Anthony Dixon and get his official. Let's give him his due.
He deserves it. He deserves it.
All right, so he was with the 49ers for 4 years.
Yeah,
and carried the ball 148 times. Wow, who knew? See, he carried it 70 times in 2010 before I was there. In 2011, he got 29 carries. The year after that, he got 21. So it would be like maybe one a game, like 1.5 a game. But he had, he was kind of there. But then you're right, he did go to Buffalo. Good for Booby.
Buffalo, that's right.
Buffalo,
that's right.
Yeah, Booby.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he came through in the interview. Anytime you got a little piece of Booby Dixon, it came through that he was a live personality. It's cool that you get that behind the scenes. Do you miss that now that you're stuck on these Zoom calls and you don't have a chance to do any follow-up questions? Like, it seems like a major step down.
They mute you as soon as you ask your question, so it's impossible to ask a follow-up, which is tough because the best questions are the follow-up questions. And I really like being able to go into the locker room and have little interactions one-on-one with someone. Like I could go in now, if I could go in the locker room now, I could go right up to Javon Kinlaw and be like, hey, I was the guy that asked you about eating the squirrel. Could I interview you for 10 minutes about hunting? And he'd be like, yeah, absolutely. But now, like, how would you even set that up? It'd be difficult. I'm going to try, but it'd be so easy in the past.
You can't, and that's a shame because that was a great leading question that could have truly opened up a dialogue with him. To your point of the characterization, I mean, really what you want to do is get the player comfortable, get them talking, get them to where they're sharing something about themselves because that's what people want. That's what I want as a fan. I want to see the character of the individual, and it just isn't there because that question almost came off to people who don't know you and don't know your natural inquisitive nature as sort of a clowning question when I don't believe that was the case at all. And I think had you the chance for the follow-up questions, it would have become clear that like that was the dog in him coming out in a photograph. Like that is a little bit of who he is.
That was him. That was the essence of him. And that's why I was asking about it. And it's funny, like we come on the show, we talk about sports, we analyze the finer points of the game. Whenever I go out and meet up with a fan and have drinks, sometimes I'll do that. Like at the Super Bowl, I met up with one. And all we talk about every time, so what's so-and-so like? So what's so-and-so like? That's what people really want to know. And that's what you get to learn when you're in the locker room. What they're, well, to an extent, I guess you never really know what they're like. No one knew that Bruce Miller was going to go ham on that 7-year-old man that one time, but you know what I'm saying? You get a better sense.